We are going to be doing our way too early season prediction for the San Francisco 49ers now that the schedule has come out. If you want to go get your tickets, make sure you tap in with Tick Pick. They're going to get you the best deal on your San Francisco 49ers tickets. So let's get into this. I did this already on live, but I want to post it again because it's that good. Let's go. Starting with the Seattle Seahawks on the road. I typically don't like playing division opponents this early, especially week one. I like to call the first 4 weeks of the season preseason for the starters, just because the starters don't participate in preseason anymore. The training camp is so condensed. They don't practice all that much or that hard. So the first 4 weeks is really just kind of everyone getting everything figured out. So I typically don't like playing important games this early, but this is a different scenario because I think of how last year ended and the extra time that the 49ers have. This is also going to play into this bye week too. But because the 49ers didn't make the playoffs, they had about 2 extra months than they would typically have in years where they have gone deep into the playoffs. So traveling to Seattle, playing a division opponent week one, I'm actually for it. And I'm going to say the 49ers go and get that win. Sorry, Sam. I know Sam Darnold's up there now. No DK Metcalf, no Tyler Lockett. I think the 49ers have the better roster as it stands right now. And I think the 49ers are ready and motivated, and they go up to Seattle, get the W. So we're starting off with a bang, starting with a W right out the gates. But the 49ers start their season on the road because they go straight from Seattle to New Orleans. So with that being said, the San Francisco 49ers have to then go to New Orleans. However, I think this is a good scenario for them because I don't think the New Orleans Saints are going to be all that good. We don't even know who their quarterback is. Is it Tyler Shook? Is it Spencer Rattler? Is it Jake Hayner? Either way, the 49ers are going to come out with a W there. I think this is a great start. Getting one of those road games to be the Saints, I'm calling that a W. So I already got 2. We're 2-0 right out the gate. And then you had the 49ers home opener in Levi Stadium against the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals will be improved. I think the Cardinals have good coaching and, they got some weapons. But I just don't know. As long as the San Francisco 49ers play their game, I always feel like the 49ers play down to the Cardinals. If they just play their game and play their brand of ball and they get back to what they do well, San Francisco 49ers are winning this game. So I got the San Francisco 49ers collecting a W against the Arizona Cardinals. So we're starting out 3-0. And then you got the Jaguars coming to town. Trevor Lawrence, new head coach, Liam Cohn, Duval. We'll see. Like I said, it's still kind of preseason time, new head coach, new operation. And the 49ers have beaten the Jags the last couple times they faced them. This is a W. So, right out the gate, honestly, I 4-0, I really don't think is that crazy. I really, really, really don't. So, but this is where I start to feel a little imbalanced, right? It's like, 4-0. I don't know. Then they go back on the road to Levi South. Yes, it's a home game that is played in LA, but it is still on the road. And this will be a primetime game. I think that this might be a potential opportunity for a bit of a trap. Not because that I think that the Rams aren't very good and they're going to sneak up on the 49ers. I think the Rams right now got better. They got Devontae Adams. They've continued to add to their offense and defense, still being coached by McVay. Hey, They swept the 49ers last year, so I can't say too much about them. So I'm going to say the 49ers lose this game. You can disagree with me in the comments below. And I do think the 49ers can win against the Rams, but for the sake of this way too early record prediction, I have the 49ers losing to the Rams. Then they go back on the road to play Tampa Bay. I was at the game last year versus Tampa Bay. I think that the 49ers match up well against this team, specifically their defense. Yes, they got a high-powered offense. I think their offense is pretty solid. Captained by Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. They got Egbuka from Ohio State in the draft. They've added some pieces. However, I still think the 49ers are the better team. I think they go in there, they get the dub in Tampa. And then the 49ers come back home for a Sunday night football game on week 7 against the Falcons. Yes, Michael Penix, ascending guy. They have a lot of weapons on that team. I mean, Drake London, I think of Bijan Robinson. Does Pitts break out? Who knows? But they drafted 2 solid defensive ends, Jalen Walker, James Pierce. We'll see. I think they'll put up a fight, but I think the 49ers being at home on prime time get that dub there. Now the Texans, they go on the road. It's a 10 a.m. start. I believe Texans are Central Time Zone, so that's like the equivalent to what, like an 8 a.m. start on the West Coast? No, it's 10 a.m. start on the West Coast. But the clock gets started. I think you know what I mean. It's a shock to the body clock because they're getting started way sooner than they would at home because they're playing in a different time zone. So that's an interesting one. So I have the 49ers losing against the Texans, D'Amico Ryans, all that stuff. Challenging team. CJ Stroud, I think, has a bounce back year. They added a lot of weapons on the offensive side. I think that the Texans will be a good team, and this is going to be a little bit of a trap for them. So I have the 49ers taking an L here against the New York against the New York Giants. Woo! Get these words out. I have the San Francisco 49ers collecting a dub, then coming back home week 10 against the Rams. I got a win there. So they split with the Rams. Then they go back on the road to AZ. That's a W. Sweep AZ. Okay. So don't get mad at me for calling that L for the Rams earlier. We're sweeping the cards. We're splitting with the Rams. And then you have week 12 on Monday Night Football against the Panthers. I think they are a approved team, but I think that's a W there. So we're stacking dubs. And I gotta put a trap game in here somewhere. There's gotta be a trap. And I'm picking the Browns. They have now gone 13 weeks, no bye week. You just come off a Monday Night Football game, a bit of a short week. Again, 10 a.m. start, Central Time, potential weather issues. I'm gonna say an L here to the Browns. Yes, it's the Browns, but I think they're gonna have a good running back. If Joe Flacco's their quarterback, I think he's solid enough. And they have a good defense, even though they're going to be down a piece in JOK. But I have this as a trap. So I'm going to have an L against the Browns here, and then they get their bye. Now, I don't think this bye is too bad. Yes, ideally you have the bye placed in the center of the schedule, but I'm thinking long term here. I'm thinking at least 3 more games in the playoffs, right? So if I'm thinking of it like that, you have 4 games on the opposite side of the bye plus 3, that's 7. It's not evenly split, but I don't mind a kind of a sprint for 13 weeks after having 2 months off because of not playing in the playoffs this past season, and then having a break late in the year, and then you got home game versus the Titans, W. You got a road game on Monday Night Football against the Colts. I have this one as an L for balance. I think the 49ers can beat the Colts, but you never know. There's always those games that sneak up on you. And then I have the 49ers closing out the season with 2 W's. Week 17 W against the Bears and a week 18 W against Seattle. So sweeping Seattle. And then you look at the overall record, I have them at 13-4. And that seems pretty solid. And the 49ers won't be playing any teams coming off a bye this year, opposed to last year where I felt like every team was coming off a bye that they played. So I would say that the floor for this team, 10-7, 11-6. I'm going to say that's the floor because I don't think they'll be like they were last year. I just don't think that's going to happen. I think last year was a huge outlier year. I don't think they're replicating that. I think they're getting back to being the team that we know they are. Some people might disagree with that, but that's just what I believe. I think probably middle tier is 12-5, 13-4. And then if we're going ceiling, they could go 15-2 with this schedule. So it doesn't mean it's going to happen, but I look at this schedule and it seems pretty positive to me. I really do think that they could do some damage with this. And I think the 49ers end up back in the playoffs. I think they will be fighting for the 1 seed if everything goes as planned. No guarantee that the 1 seed is theirs, though. I definitely think they're going to have to earn that for sure. But yeah, it's going to be a fascinating journey. So what that means I want from you is, what is your way too early record prediction for the 2025 season? Drop it in the comments below. I ended with 13-4. I have the floor at 10-7, 11-6, ceiling at 5-12. You let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.